Hello and welcome to the MSPC Bros channel, and today we'll be talking about the Corsair RM850X power supply. This is one beast and we're pretty sure you can't wait to see what we have to say about it. Remember, if you want to see more videos like this in the future, be sure to leave a like and subscribe so we know you enjoy watching. What are we waiting for? Let's get into it. Just to start off, we will begin with some general specs. First, this PSU powers your build with a total of 850 watts. This is mostly for those who have a high grade build that might have an i7 or higher, along with a 20 series NVIDIA graphics card. This is because these parts require more power to run properly than most. Next up, it should last for 100,000 hours, which is the equivalent of about 4,166 days. That comes down to 11 years, so that shows the quality put into this product and how long it can last. If for some reason the PSU doesn't last as long as you thought it would, no problem. This power supply comes with a 10-year warranty, so if it arrives dead on arrival or it stops working one day, the warranty will cover it. Finally, the efficiency level is 80 plus gold. This is the middle efficiency for PSUs. The lowest is bronze and the highest is titanium. So if you aren't worried about paying just a few more dollars a month on your energy bill, then don't worry about it. Next on our list are the system specs. These go a little more in depth than what we started off with, so you can get a better understanding of the features included with the PSU. For starters, the average temperature of it is 50 degrees Celsius. This is good because you won't have a problem with overheating issues, and if you don't have tons of work for your PC, it will stay in 0 RPM mode, which is another feature. As long as the temperature of the power supply stays below 50 degrees Celsius, the fan will not turn on, giving you a silent operating PSU. Corsair's IQ software is not compatible with this power supply because it has no RGB lights to control. Finally, if you want multiple graphics cards in your system so you can get ultimate clarity in your games, you're in luck. The power supply is multi-GPU ready, which is a feature most don't have, so it definitely sticks out from the crowd. Now for those wondering if it'll even fit in their build, we're covering the dimensions and build specs up next. The fan type this power supply uses has a rifle bearing, so you can get assured smoothness without the squeaking of non-lubricated bearings. The bearings constantly move the lubricant, so you can be sure the fan will never jam when it gets older. The size of the fan is 130 millimeters, so it fits snugly in the power supply while still allowing maximum air to be pushed out when it gets too hot. Next up, the size of the power supply is 150 millimeters wide by 86 millimeters high by 160 millimeters long. This is about the average size for a power supply with this many watts, meaning it should fit in most mid-tower and full-tower PSU shrouds. This power supply is also fully modular, meaning you have to plug in all the cables by yourself. This can be helpful because you can choose the port that can be best maneuvered around rather than having to wrestle with one that is permanently installed with the semi-modular models. For those interested in what ports can be found on the power supply and how many there are, we got that coming right up. First, we have one ATX power connector. This is where you plug in the giant cable that brings power to the motherboard. Next, two EPS 12-volt connectors are included so you can power your CPU socket. There is one floppy connector which is used to connect a floppy disk, which no one even uses anymore because they're completely outdated. There are 6 PCIe ports that are available so you can plug in the PCIe cable to deliver power to the graphics card you installed. 10 SATA connector ports are used to connect the SATA cable in charge of delivering power to the HDDs and SSDs in your system. Last but not least, we have 8 PATA connectors, which are where you plug in the PATA cables responsible for powering HDDs and floppy disks. For those wondering what comes in the box, we have that too. Obviously, the RMX series power supply arrives in it, along with the power cord used to connect the power supply to electricity. Mounting screws are included so you can be sure you are properly securing it to the case of your PC. Cable ties come as well so you can better organize all the cables that will run from the power supply ports to various components on your PC. They will mostly be attached on little holes included on most cases so you can be assured the cables won't move around behind the back panel. A Corsair case badge is included so you can stick it anywhere you want in the case. Finally, we have the user manual which can help you with troubleshooting and if you want more information on the warranty and what is included with it. Last but not least, we have a list of the included cables. These are the ones that are included with the power supply. If you plan on using different cables, just be sure you remember which cables are compatible with this model of the power supply so you don't accidentally purchase the wrong type. For starters, one ATX power cable is included. This is the thick cable that we mentioned earlier that powers your motherboard. Next, two EPS 12V cables that can be used to bring power to your CPU and its socket. 6 PCIe cables so you can power your graphics card are included as well. 8 peripheral cables for those older model floppy disks and HDDs, and 10 SATA cables for more modern day SSDs and HDDs. Finally, 1 floppy drive adapter cable so you can connect your floppy drive to your PC. Now that we have come to the end of our list of specs for this power supply, it is time for our list of pros and cons. For the pros, this power supply comes in at around $144.99. For the amount of wattage and different technologies that come included with it, it seems to be pretty reasonable. Another pro is that it has good temperature ratings, so you won't have to worry about a loud fan running in the background while the power supply is overheating. This is another reason why having 0 RPM mode available on this model is worth it. Now for the cons, they might have included too many cables that you just won't need to use. We work with a 750 watt model in this series, and even though that model has less cables, we still had a bag full of them. If they include less cables, they might be able to make it cost less, making this a win-win situation for everyone. Other than that, this is one solid power supply. Remember, if you want to see more videos like this one in the future, be sure to leave a like and subscribe so you never miss another video.